Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are taking a look at everyone's favorite utensil, that being Forky. Forky is one of the newest members to the Toy Story family. We're introduced to him in Toy Story 4. At the beginning of the movie, you'll remember that Bonnie begins kindergarten and Woody goes along with her on her first day. She's very nervous. She has a hard time making any friends. And Woody realizes this, so he hops down into the trash can, throws up a bunch of art supplies, and she gets a spark of creativity and literally makes a friend. She creates Forky out of a spork, some googly eyes, some plasticine, pipe cleaner, some clay, and a popsicle stick. He becomes a part of the family when he comes to life in the backpack of Bonnie's on their way home that day. Woody shows him to all the other toys, and we then begin the hilarious sequence of events of Toy Story 4. Now, when I first watched Toy Story 4, Forky was not one of my favorites. You know, I'm a little bit older, so I harken back to the original movies, and I was just kind of like, who is this sport guy? Now, I have to say, after the years have passed and watching this movie countless times, I think Forky is actually one of my favorite Toy Story characters of all time. I also think he might actually be the funniest. Tony Hale does the voice work, absolutely blows it out of the water. Phenomenal job. But the writing, I think, just takes center stage. You know, the jokes and the humor and the whole, attitude and character of Forky is so well done. It really is. You know, he's very naive. You know, he plays this sort of dim-witted, spork. And, of course, I think one of the best scenes of all of Toy Story, frankly, is that scene where, Forky has kind of become Bonnie's favorite toy at this point. And the thing is Forky is going through kind of an existential toy crisis. He doesn't even believe he's a toy. He thinks he is purely trash. And so that scene where he's just constantly diving into the trash can and Woody's finding all these different ways to pull him out and make it seem to Bonnie that, nothing is going on. The music, the acting, the voice work, the animation itself, it is so well done. I could watch that over and over and over. I just think it's one of my favorites of all of Toy Story. We really start to see Forky's personality and his humor. Now, of course, the real crux of Toy Story 4 begins when they're in the camper van. Forky is still, just thinking he's trash. And he jumps out of the camper van, and Woody, of course, goes to save him. Now, we realize later on that, this was supposed to be a very quick adventure, okay? This was supposed to be a very quick rescue. Woody was just going to grab Forky and head back and meet the other toys. Well, of course, on their way back, they pass the antique shop. Woody sees Bo Peep's lamp, and we really get into all of the different fun of Toy Story 4. Forky, though, is kind of the culprit of beginning all of these events, though, because if Woody wasn't going to rescue him, of course, we wouldn't have the antique shop, Bo Peep, and, all of the great events that happen in Toy Story 4. I think it's one of the greatest animated films of all time. It's not my favorite Toy Story movie, but I think the animation is definitely the best out of all of them. Now, we're going to focus on just Forky today. Later on, we're going to look at quite a few Toy Story 4 characters, and we'll get into some of those other events in the movie. But today, let's take a look at a couple different Forky figures. Now, there are several Forky figures available out there. We're going to look at two today, and I'm going to explain why one of the others that I don't have today is really not worth buying. Okay, so first, let's take a look at this little guy here. So this is that little 7-inch scale of Toy Story 3 and 4 that I really enjoy. Again, you can find almost all of the characters in this scale. Now, this is a really cool little Forky figure. I have the Pixar Spotlight Woody right here in the middle. He's about, 8 inches. And, Forky is pretty in scale. You'll notice that in each of the different scales of figures, the Forky is actually a little big, but it doesn't bother me because you get all the detail of all the different, structural pieces, and he holds a lot of emotion with the face and everything. So I'm not upset that he's a little big for the scales. I think he looks really good next to that Woody. You'll notice next to the movie size Woody, he's actually a little small, but he would work. These guys are very inexpensive. You can find these all over the place for $10 or less. You got the movie accurate clay with the fingerprints, popsicle stick with the rainbow. You got the little buttons there on the spork. Pipe cleaner hands, they're not, movable or anything. They are bendy, but they won't stay in any different position. But I think they do look pretty good. They look like, a pipe cleaner, maybe a little plasticky, but that's okay. Not complaining at all. The face is very interesting because it is very much different than the one we'll take a look at in a second. The mouth especially. But I think that, the googly eyes and that eyebrow with that spork. Now, this does feel like a real spork in the hand. It's concaved here. I think it looks really, really good. Nothing special on the back. But again, those fingerprints on the clay, that attention to detail is just really, really good. A little bit of wood grain, not a ton on the popsicle sticks. But this is a really, really good figure. Now, you can get him in a 2-pack with Duke Kaboom, or you can get him by himself for like, $7. He is, I think, a really, really good, inexpensive figure. If you need a Forky, go with this guy. And if you're doing that 7-inch scale collection, this is the way to go. Now, I think the best Forky figure out there is this Disney collection Forky. He's about 7 inches high. And I think this is just one of my, favorite figures in my Toy Story collection, frankly. And he's so inexpensive. He's about $20. This is him new in box. Now, he comes in 2 different boxes. And unfortunately, I don't have the original box that this one came in. So, in the original box, he comes with all this glitter and all this pipe cleaners. Of course, it's all just printed on the box. It's not real or anything. But it's a very fun box. It looks like it's straight out of Bonnie's kindergarten class. And unfortunately, I ordered another one to show that box, and it came in this packaging. So if you want to order and have it new in box for collecting, beware that there are 2 different versions of boxes. So make sure you get the good one. So this Forky is phenomenal. You got those googly eyes that look just like the real ones in arts and crafts. You got that eyebrow that's much more realistic. This one's, it's kind of an odd looking face on this one, but it works. I think it's a great little Forky figure. But this takes the cake here. You got that beautiful mouth. He's smiling. He's happy. You got the little blush dirt marks on the spork. I mean, again, we're going to show the attention to detail on this one is phenomenal. I think his arms, too, they're a little plasticky, but definitely looks much more like pipe cleaners. These are flexible as well. This one, almost, you can shape it. I'm going to leave it, though. He's got these glitter buttons. This guy really looks real. I mean, he looks like he's made out of arts and crafts. The only thing is, the clay, I really wish they did the thumbprints. They did the thumbprints. You can even see them. I mean, that looks like a piece of gum or clay on that small one, even from here. And they didn't do it on this, which is kind of a letdown. But the popsicle sticks, they look real. I mean, you have that wood grain and you got that rainbow that really looks like a real sticker. I mean, it's really well done. He has a super cool play feature as well. So when he rolls, he actually walks. So he waddles back and forth, the spork itself, and his feet go up and down. I mean, how cool is that? He also has some voices.
So, I was made by the
Now, I gotta say, the speaker is actually really good. Really good. His voice sounds great. And he's got 11 different catchphrases. But here is where this figure really just takes it for me. All right. This is what I'm talking about, this attention to detail. You'll notice here that on the back of the spork, which is, concaved, this is like a life-size spork. I mean, it feels really good. You could eat with this thing. I don't recommend it. But really, this feels like a real spork. This is a Pizza Planet spork. How movie accurate can you get? So Pizza Planet is, of course, a throwback to the original movie. This is where this figure is just, I mean, that detail makes it for me. The fact that they could put that on the back, I mean, it really looks like a real spork from Pizza Planet. And the nostalgia, it just rings. It's just phenomenal. That is so well done. Now, the other thing with this is because it's like a real spork, thin, feels good, you can actually kind of hang him. That's how I have him on the shelf. I have him hanging around Woody's neck, kind of like that. And you can kind of maneuver Woody's arms and have him kind of hugging him tight. They kind of become best friends. So I think him hanging on Woody on the shelf is a really good scene for a Toy Story collection. Now, as you can see, this is a very, very good Forky. In fact, I think it's the best. There is a third option out there, and it's a True Talkers series Forky. I recommend not buying that Forky. I purchased two, and both of them broke within minutes of taking them out of the package. Now, the other thing about that Forky, yes, it has the thumbprints in the clay, which I wish this one did. But that Forky has a very thick back on this spork. It's got weird little magnets that aren't painted white. It does not look realistic at all. It really doesn't. And the voice speaker is not even half as good as this one. So if you want all of them for a collection, by all means, go ahead. But if you want a quintessential Forky figure, this is going to be your guy. Absolutely a phenomenal figure. Now, we'll take a quick look at this box. Nothing really too special. This isn't really a special box, but, 11 character phrases, little Toy Story 4 with Forky hanging onto the 4, Disney collection. Nothing special on the sides. It just says Toy Story 4. Again, the other box is really just a showstopper. And really, this box, the back just kind of shows the same things as the front. Now, it does look like you can actually definitely have these pipe cleaner arms in different formations. So you can definitely move those around if you'd like. I'm going to have them kind of in this happy, two arms up pose. So, I think when it comes to Forky, there are really two options out there. There's actually a lot of plushies out there as well, but for the Toy Story shelf collection, there's the 4-inch, which I think is a really good Forky, but I think the movie accurate Disney collection, absolutely a phenomenal figure. You can see the emotion in the face there. Looks like he's straight out of the movie. Highly recommend this guy. I really hope we see Forky again in Toy Story 5 here in the future. And as I said, we're going to start looking at not only Bonnie's toys from Toy Story 3, but we're going to start looking at some Toy Story 4 characters as well. There's so many different Toy Story characters out there. And I know you guys have been commenting and giving me ideas as well. Please comment down here on this video as well and let me know what you think about these Forky figures. Let me know if there's any more out there and what you think is the best one. I really think this Disney collection one takes the cake for me. So we are going to look at some more Toy Story 4 characters tomorrow. But today we're going to hang out with Forky in all of his different sizes. And yeah, I really appreciate you stopping by. If you enjoy this video or any of my other videos, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And we'll see you tomorrow.